In this video, we turned a space that looked like this into an extremely useful space that looks like this. And here's how we did it. About 5 years ago, I started this automotive YouTube channel. We've had a lot of DIY projects in the process, and this is one of them, where we take this red barn that's a shed, make it a livable space, put in a man door, AC, electrical, ceiling, insulation, air conditioning, you name it. We've made this an awesome workspace so we can take my business from in my bedroom to now in this red barn on the side of the house, which is much, much bigger, so we can grow into it. How are we gonna grow into it? Well, we're actually letting you know right now, we're giving away a car. I've had a lot of ideas over the years, and we're finally bringing this one to fruition. We're giving away a car. Instead of modifying the car and having fun with it and then selling it and moving on to the next, one of you guys that watches, that purchases something from Carmaspeed.com is gonna get to take home this car. I'm really looking forward to it, and we need your support to make this a success. But right now, we're offering 100 entries for every $1 you spend for a couple days to promote it. Here's a picture. The car is unknown for a couple days while we run this promotion, and then soon we'll be dropping an episode of what the car is, and we're gonna get straight to modifying it. And within 60 days, the car's gonna be done, and we're gonna call someone who wins it, and we're gonna make sure the car gets to them and they get to come out here and enjoy it and check it out beforehand. Carmaspeed.com, links in the description. I appreciate it. Let's get into this DIY project, and we'll talk about this later. It's important that you know a little bit about this building before we get started, so you can relate as much as possible and take away all the information that you can, so you don't feel overwhelmed or underprepared when you go to do your DIY project. Because us here at Carmaspeed, in the Carmaspeed Garage, and the brand, we're all about building confidence in the garage, learning every type of vehicle, all things DIY. Sometimes we do projects like this. Context: my dad recently, about a year ago, moved to Phoenix, right down the street from me, like right across the street. The previous owner of the house built this red barn out back. That's a 20 by 20 building, 20 foot by 20 foot square. Just framing, a little bit insulation, pegboards, electrical to run lights, and some plugs for equipment. Super simple, bolted to the concrete pad over at his house. It was gonna get thrown out, sold, or something. I said, hey, can I get this thing from you and move it to my house so I can get my brand Carmaspeed, our little shipping fulfillment center, out of a bedroom in my house and into the red barn, because we're about to give away our first car. We got to get this thing over to the house and make it really nice and clean, like an interior space, because we're shipping high quality products out of this thing. We want to make it comfortable with air conditioning, super clean, so we have all our products aren't going to get dust on them. If we drop something on the floor, it's not a big deal. We have everything we need to stay as organized as possible, because we're growing as this giveaway starts. Step number 1, get a concrete pad at my house. We already talked about this in the last episode, but I'll give you a little refresher. My cousin owns a company called Brick by Brick in Phoenix. If you need pavers or brickwork or concrete, you can hit him up and look him up online. I'll leave his information down in the description if you need brickwork, you know, stuff around pools, whatever. He's a car guy just like us, and you can contact him with the information below. He had his guys make a concrete pad here at the house, and then we were able to bring the building over. We paid some movers to slide their trailer right in the double door cutout for this barn. They lifted it up and brought it over to the house, set it down. Okay, now the building's here. We're caught up to speed from the last video. Now that the building is on the fresh concrete pad, we're gonna go ahead and take some caulking and go across the base. We also put some underneath where the frame of the building sits on the concrete. We put it underneath so it sandwiches that caulking, and then we're gonna do it on the outside and inside or on the perimeter, so bugs and water and dust and debris can't make it underneath the frame of the building into the room. Now you're gonna take a hammer drill through the base of the building into the concrete, put some concrete anchors, and then that will fasten the building to the concrete pad. The building is on the ground, good to go. Now we want to get electricity to it. We're gonna dig a hole from the building. Luckily, the main panel for electricity is on the same side of the house as the building. So we dug a hole, ran our wire through it, our electrical wire, and we used a fish tape to pull that wire through. And we're able to run our electricity for our lights and our air conditioning unit into the panel inside the barn that was already there. Sometimes when you try and push wires through PVC pipe, especially with electrical, it gets stuck, and Randall's taught me something new. Randall, what do you have? What tool is this?
So this is called a fish tape. What this does is We got a skinny metal rod here that this floor here is about like 100 some odd feet long. And what this does is this goes through the pipe. You go out your other end, give yourself enough room with this to come out the other end, and then you get your wire in here, tape it up real good. Have it so it's not gonna be binding up. So you want it to kind of flow with this. And once you have it at the other end, you just pull this and you pull it back through once you get your wire taped up, and then it makes it a lot easier to get your wire fed through. Start here.
You can hear it right here. Got it.
Just kind of do that, and then we'll do the same thing with the other wire.
Randall got this all laced up, put the little cover back. There's our new one right there. We have our tandem below and above it now, and we still didn't have to make any modifications to the panel. This is good to go. Going through this box out through the ground, and now we can focus on the barn. Do you have any thoughts, concerns, points of interest?
Let's hope it don't blow up. Nah, it's gonna be good.
Next, you're gonna wanna move your electrical boxes to the desired locations. There were some in a couple different places we didn't like, so we moved and we put them everywhere we want there to be a little spot for a plug when this place is done. If you're questioning yourself what wire to use for the air conditioning unit or for your wall outlets, I'm not gonna advise you on that. Electrical work is something that's new to us, and I think there's a lot of other helpful YouTube channels out there that can show you DIY electrician moves, how they do things and subjects to help educate you on that so you make the right decision of what you should do for your DIY project. But if you're feeling lost, you have your main panel, you run wires off of that, you go to the panel inside your building, you run wires off of that to all of your individual places in the building where you need electricity. It's just your panel with breakers and wire running to wherever you need it. It's kind of those three things. You need to choose the proper size and all that, but you can go educate yourself on that further if you're gonna take this on. I think it's super important that you do your own research and just don't mess around with electricity. All the boxes are mounted ready for wall outlets, and then Randall's gonna go ahead and run the electrical wire that's a little bit bigger to the back of the building, through the ceiling, the rafters, and then that's gonna be ready out the bottom, out of the back of the building for our air conditioning unit that we're gonna hook up later in this video. All electric is prepped, ready to go. Now we can put our drywall on. If you've never worked with drywall, it's this simple, like chalky textured material that's like compressed into big sheets that are kind of heavy but not too heavy. It's nice to mount it and install it, and hang it is the right word with two people. You can do it by yourself though. You take drywall screws and you fasten it to the studs of the building. For each stud, you're gonna probably put 3 screws through it. Drywall is a great subject to dive into more YouTube videos about and other channels. I highly recommend that. Drywall is something that's very, very simple but seems complex from the outside. You're like, how did the wall get there? Oh, there's sheets and there's joints and there's mud. It's super simple. You should go check it out. If you're feeling a little unsure, if you watch a couple of videos that are quick, you'll want to do it yourself, and you'll save a ton of money in the process. You put drywall tape on all the joints where all the pieces of drywall butt up against each other, and then you're gonna put mud over that, and the tape kind of helps hold everything together. That's gonna dry, and then you're gonna sand it all off. So it's just one big smooth wall. You can look down at the side of it and make sure that it's level and everything else like that. You're not gonna be perfect at it if you're new in the beginning, but I did have help from Randall's friend. He helped us speed up the process, and he's really good at making sure the wall was level, so I appreciate his help. Taking a little break from drywall, we wanted to put a man door in, and we had those 2 big sliding doors, so Randall went ahead, took some 2x4s and framed in a man door. We went out and purchased a door ready to go from Home Depot. It was a couple $100. There's different doors with different window types and stuff, so you can kind of pick what you like. While you're at Home Depot, make sure you grab your lock and your door handle. We ordered our lock on Amazon, I believe. You're also gonna grab exterior paneling to match whatever you have on the outside of your building. It comes in like a tan color, and we're gonna paint it red when we repaint the whole building, so it'll all match. Now that the outside is framed in, the finish is the same, the exterior wall all looks the same in uniform. Randall did some trim work to cover up where termites got to the building from years prior. It looked kind of like falling apart, so he got that, made it look pretty, did that trim work, so when we paint it red, it'll look totally fine. It'll look like someone did it on purpose. The next step is cutting out the foam boards that are insulation to mount it in the ceiling, and then any other spot that's harder to get, you use the cans of expanding foam. We went ahead and bought a bunch of them, and we used a lot less than we thought. Now that the insulation is done, we're gonna make sure all the wires are running to all of the electrical boxes where the lights are gonna be wired into. We chose some really nice recessed flat LED lights that go in the ceiling that are round that looked really, really nice. I'm gonna have Amazon links in the description for you for all of this. Next up at Home Depot, we grabbed a attic ladder setup. I don't even know what the technical name for it is, but it's just a ladder that has a spring-loaded arm that you pull down, tosses the ladder out so you can turn this into an attic. So we mounted that. The ladder is mounted. Now we can go ahead and hang our drywall up on the ceiling to close the ceiling off. We built a little helper stand out of 2x4s. Randall and I were able to figure it out, how to get it up there. Sometimes you gotta balance it on your head, just have 2 ladders. And it wasn't too difficult. It definitely was a little workout on the shoulders, but we got it done and we didn't have to rent a lift for drywall, which I know they make lifts for drywall to lift them up so then you can screw them in, but we were able to figure it out and save some money. Mud the joints, tape the joints, sand it off. Same situation as the walls. It's time to paint the walls. We're going white on this project per usual, our style. You can rent a paint gun from an equipment rental place, possibly Home Depot in your area. You can check around, and this makes the process go much, much faster. There's a lot of paint gun options out there, but we just got a basic flat white, I believe. I was thinking about satin, but we did flat white.
Approved. May or may not fall off this ladder. Looks really weird. Those just kind of hanging there.
The barn light's perfect. Looks retro.
I know, right?
Because it is.
But those bulbs are probably like 800 degrees a piece. You're gonna burn every bug that it gets in contact with.
For the floor, I'm about out of money for this project completely, and I'm stressing about it. I wanted to do some really nice epoxy, but I was like, I don't know. I just want to do something simple. I went to Home Depot and I found a clearance vinyl flooring that like snaps together. They're like tile looking ones that looks like fake wood. I got a pallet of that and it was only $300 because each square foot was like 70 cents when the other ones were like between $3 and $6. They had it in stock, so I grabbed it right there, and then I learned how to do this. The only thing you really got to worry about is you don't just stack it like you think you would. If you're completely blind to this idea like I am of doing this vinyl floor, you stagger it so it adds rigidity to all of them. And this was the cheapest stuff that they had, so some of them, when you mount them together and you tap it with a little hammer to kind of get it to snap into place, didn't always work out perfect. Some of them broke and it was kind of a pain. And then when you have them staggered, you have some pieces that are too long against the wall. You got to measure the gap, cut a piece, and go from there. So it was a lot of measuring, cutting, staggering them, hitting them in place. Sometimes they break, put a new one in. So you definitely want to get the exact square footage and then maybe like 1 or 2 boxes on top of that to give you some spare. So we got the floor done. The floor actually looks really, really good. It definitely feels a little cheap in some areas, but I'm not really worried about it. For 300 bucks, we'll just rip it out and do it different one day. But for now, it's absolutely perfect. And the color was pretty solid for it being on clearance. Now it's time to move everything out of this tiny little bedroom in my house to out in this fresh building that I'm really excited about. And then we're gonna install an air conditioning heater unit right after that. Did you think this day would come sooner or right on time? Or was it later than you predicted?
I don't know. I'm just glad it's here. I'm just glad I'm done with the barn.
When I moved into this room, I honestly thought, because we had so much going on, it felt like we were never gonna have a reason to move out. And with Devin's help, and Austin as well, who's helping him, and me and Randall working hard, this came a lot sooner, so I'm really pumped right now. We'll get these racks out of here. We got all our newest envelopes. These things are so sweet. Randall took charge and got these done. Then we can organize all this and we're not crammed on space. Get all of our jet tags and all that, and then we can order more inventory since we'll have space. And then we'll have another desk set up out there and stuff. Everything's moved in, let's throw a concrete pad out back for our air conditioning unit to sit on. Let's talk about this for a second. This was Randall's Christmas present to me. That was very nice of him. This is like a CNC cut, powder coated. I'm not sure if we're gonna leave it on the outside or put it on the inside, but thank you, Randall.
Heck yeah.
Good soup? We don't have a long enough hose.
Two-layer cake right there. Custom. That's custom.
Clean, let's go. DIY or die.
Literally.
DIY. That's a shirt. That's a shirt right there.
True. Even these homemade steaks. Nice and crooked.
Wait, pull it out there.
I was about to go buy some of these.
Dang, oh, it's hot. Oh, you
Yeah.
said, oh my. It's a nice piece of concrete cake right there.
Nice.
It's ice cream cake. DQ.
Make sure to carve your name in it. I think she's too dry to do the little engravement move.
You want to give her a little...
I don't want to crack it. Packing some pounds right here.
For the cherry on top, we're installing a Mr. Cool 18K BTU air conditioning heater. This thing is awesome. It has a thermostat or remote. You can connect it to your phone. You can control it from anywhere because it connects to your Wi-Fi router. So if I'm on my way home and I want it to heat up to 75 in there when it's cold at night, on my way home, I can hit it on my phone while I'm driving. It'll heat up by the time I'm there. It's ready to go. These things are awesome and so easy to install. Let's dive into that process. Comes with everything you need. Literally order it on Amazon. This is the same one we have in the garage. If you're new here, this is our garage workspace, and we've had this up here for over a year, and it's 120 degrees here in Phoenix, Arizona in the summer, and it keeps it cool. Doesn't consume that much power, to be completely honest. I only saw my bill go up about $80 at the peak of summer. I think it may be close to 100 one month. That's it. And for us to have an air conditioned space to work while air conditioning my house, now we can have this air conditioned because we have all of our products that we're gonna be storing in here, all of our shipping supplies. We don't want it to get 120 in here, so this unit is gonna be on automatic mode probably, so it won't go above 85, 90 in here. We don't want anything getting too hot because there is some things that have glue and stuff, so this is gonna be the best way to keep this room climate controlled and a good environment to work in, no matter what time of year it is. Give us wrenches. Oh, they even give us a tool bag.
That's clutch. Look at that. We're certified HVAC technicians now. That's clutch.
Think you'd use this? It's all you, dog. Mr. HVAC.
Woo!
Officially
Got a new certification today.
got your new cert today. Hold on, let me get you buckled in. Hold on, we gotta get this buckled in too. That's on the wrong hook.
Some heavy duty stuff right there.
Alright, let's see you sport this right now.
Up here.
How much do you charge an hour with that bag?
With this bag, at least $68.50.
Mr. Cool is also the move because they are cool enough to give you a template that's cardboard to mount your mini split inside the building, and this is where we're gonna start. We've got our laser, obviously. We wanna get this thing real high. You can mount it however you want. But all we gotta do is mount the laser right on the center point of this. So Randall went to get some tape. We'll tape this up and then we'll start drilling. What about leveling it?
Leveling it, we will.
Randall planned a little too far ahead. It does come with drywall anchors and screws. Randall did buy some more heavy duty ones, so of course we're gonna use those. But in the garage, I used these and they work totally fine. Team overkill.
Yes, sir.
What's going on here? Explain yourself.
So what I'm trying to do here is obviously punch through this wall and then punch through the other side of the wall on the exterior. So I have a center point for the hole saw. So the tube that slides through the wall, so it comes through center. So it's not off a little bit. Because once that hole's already drilled, you're kind of guesstimating where that center point is based off of the hole. So this will make it a lot easier if my bit will reach to the other side. It's not looking like we're succeeding, so we are probably gonna have to do the eyeball method. 3.5 inch hole saw.
Included.
Got a giant hole in the fresh drywall.
Screws and a bracket.
There we go.
Book time on this is probably like 5 hours. If you watch this video, you'll get it done in 1 hour.
Yep. So before you mount this up on the plate, you want to make sure to pull out your copper lines right here. Just bend them out carefully, along with the drain, and this will go straight through the hole. This sleeve right here is what goes through the wall, so we want to make sure to put this in before you hang the unit, just like so. Ours came a little bit broken, but no big deal. And then on the outside, you're gonna have some overhang from that tubing. Depending on how thick your wall is, yours may be flush, but I'm assuming we're gonna have some overhang, so we're gonna go ahead and cut that off. So right here, you wanna cut this flush.
OCD much?
Yep. So we don't want any unwanted little animals or moisture. I'm gonna apply just some caulk around this ring right here, just so it seats up to that. It's new.
Another perk of buying a Mr. Cool unit is these lines right here come pre-charged with Freon, so you don't have to call a professional. That in itself is worth buying this setup.
So now you want to check your connections with some soapy water. This happens to be Windex. Make sure you don't have anything bubbling. So now that we've checked for leaks, we got this, it's like almost like a sound deadening. I don't know what they would call this in the HVAC world, but
Dynamat.
Keep your lines from being quiet, so they don't make too much noise. Now we have that. Take your tape. Red goes here, right now red, white, and then black right here. And then your 240 power supply coming from wherever you're pulling it from will go onto these three. Line 1, line 2, and then your ground post. We gotta crack a cold pepper. Don't drink those, they'll make you very fat. I know from experience. This piece right here will do. So being that this is a 240 volt unit, you want to be using at minimum, I think this is a 12-2. No, this is a 10-2. So this is a 10 gauge wire with your white and black and your ground. So 10-2. And this is perfectly fine for running 240 volts. We're using, I think this is called flex conduit. And these are like liquid tight seals or liquid tight connectors, I think is what these are. Give yourself a little extra. Don't cut yourself. So to hook these connectors on, first want to slide your main cap on, this little compression style fitting. Move this down towards the end, slide your piece in, and then tighten this down. Fitting's tight. We'll go ahead and run this. This works a lot better with 3/4 inch. However, on the box here, I think we can only put a 1/2 inch fitting in there unless I drilled it bigger, but I didn't want to fuss with all that. Give yourself a fall. Oh yeah, good call. This is by far not the correct way to do this, if I'm being honest, but being that this wire is so tight in this conduit, it's very hard to pull through. So I'm making do with what I have here. We're gonna get it tight. That right there, it's gonna work just fine.
Is it gonna shock you if you touch those two together?
No, the power's not on.
Oh.
But yeah, if the power is on, you'd be feeling it for for sure. Make sure those are tight. You don't want any loose connections. $129% of your daily sugar value.
It says that?
Yep. 129% over, I guess. That's what they're trying to say. But hey, I'm not hating because it is good.
I'm right there with you.
So there's an Allen head, which they do provide that as well. What you're doing here is you're essentially releasing the refrigerant that's trapped inside of these copper lines. You're opening it up and throwing it into the system. So once you open up these lines, you can no longer take these lines apart. What I'm gonna do here is drill a hole in these caps to allow this wire to feed through. So I wanna get it pretty close. That looks about right. So I used a 3/8 drill bit, and that looks like a pretty good fit there. So now being that this is on the left side, I'm gonna put it through this hole right here, just like so.
How do you know what order?
The little schematic right here shows you. Actually, it tells you too on the heat shrink. This DIY kit is simple. Ground right there. Now we'll go ahead and get this. Works. Fire off from this.
Yeah, do it. Try it. Now that it's finished up in this first phase, I'll give you a quick run through it. So we got to paint the whole thing, probably the whole building, a fresh red, and then we can get all this trim, make this white look nice, get the paint off the windows. And then when you step inside, we've got our switch right here. It's got a dimmer and everything like that. We've got our air conditioning control unit. So we have some racks and some things to organize, but we've got our bench that was in the room in my house. We're gonna build a bigger one at some point. Got your air conditioning unit right up there. And then we have some organization, and we have a bunch of t-shirts that need to get packaged. I just got done with screen printing. Organization there. We need a lot of racks in here. I picked up this table on Facebook Marketplace. This is probably like a $500 investment on someone's part, but I got it for like, I think $300 or $250, I can't remember. This thing is super cool. Stand-up desk, goes up and down. Got this set up, so if I need help editing, I can have one of the guys help me, or we need to, print shipping labels, they all come out right here. This futon, I didn't need this in my house anymore, so it was perfect to put it here. I want to make this like a infinity wall for like product photos for Carmaspeed, and then we'll have shelves all the way across this way, and then make that wall over there completely like jet tags and stickers and all the little things. And then we have our attic, so we can get up there if we need to. And here's the little light thing, we can dim it in here or turn it up. This little guy makes some noise, comes on like you guys saw. But this is the first version of the space. We got a lot of little details to do. We need a bunch of racks and things like that. But that's a little tour of our new space for Carmaspeed. Hope you took something away from this episode. Maybe you learned something you put towards a project you have at your house that's DIY. We appreciate you being here. Carmaspeed.com, we're giving away a car. You're not gonna know what it is yet, but we have 100x entries going on right now. So Carmaspeed.com in the description. That is the best way to support this channel so we can keep making awesome content, sharing what we learn with you guys and everyone building confidence in the garage or DIY projects, just sharing our experiences with you, so maybe you can take one little thing away at a time when you watch these videos. So we appreciate you. Hope you have a good day, night, wherever you're at, and we'll see you on Carmaspeed.com. If you're new to this channel, we did a showroom style garage build. You're gonna wanna click on this video, check out that process. White floor, white walls, cars look awesome in here. If you wanna maybe pick up on a detail or two here of maybe what product to buy, how to do something, how we did it, you can check out this video right here. I'll see you over there.